All right. Today we're going to be talking about building your online brand. You're going to learn about a lot of different things. And one of the things I love about Kevin is he talks about building your brand. You're going to hear about a lot of that. And building your personal brand is more important today than any other time, right? And now I like to piggyback on that a little bit and say building your online brand. And that's what we're going to talk about today is the importance of why you should be focused on building your brand online, regardless or agnostic of industry or company. All right, we're gonna just keep going here. We good, Alex? All right, I got this fancy clicker. So we're gonna show you how to become more visible, authoritative, and influential online. And those are the three things that matter. More eyeballs that see you, more people that believe that you're an authority figure, which leads you to be influential. And when you become influential, that's when people start watching you, following you, buying your stuff, right? You create raving fans. So if you want to get to know me, oh yeah, by the way, get your phones ready. There's going to be stuff where you're going to want to take pictures on some of this stuff because we're going to fly through it. There's a lot of information. There's some QR codes throughout. And for those that stick around to the very end, I got some free gifts that you'll be able to scan some codes and get some free stuff from me. So I know everybody likes free stuff. So get your phones out. A little bit about me. Brandon gave me a little bit of an introduction right there. I am a kind of a business growth and scale specialist. So one thing that I know how to do is kind of look at different businesses and understand what needs to happen to be able to put them in motion to grow and scale. I'm Fulking awesome, which you'll get, that's kind of a reoccurring theme, by the way. You'll find is when you get to have fun with your last name like that, you'll never forget my Fulking name, right? Yeah, so it's fun. So Brandon throws his middle initial in there. I just use your favorite cuss word, but with an L. It helping business owners turn ideas and overcome obstacles. And then one thing, my superpower is helping you look your very best online. So I can help give you a good Google page one search to help you be a lot more influential online. If you want to know more about me, you can go to davefulk.com. So does my online brand really matter, right? There's some people, I see some skeptics in the crowd like, online brand, why does that matter? Well, because this guy says it does, and you're all here to see him. So if he says it, right, it's important that you listen up. Kevin is actually, as Brandon was saying, is a business partner of ours in Reputation Rhino, and we thought it was a great marriage, if you will, a great relationship, a great partnership, because somebody who understands what it takes to build a brand 22 different times over $100 million understands the value in a brand. And he also understands that the branding is changing, and online branding is really where people's eyeballs are going first. And we're going to learn a little bit about that. It's estimated, if you guys can't read that, there are 5.6 billion with a B Google searches every day. That's 63,000 every second. People are going to Google for everything. People start on Google, right? If you don't know something, what do? You Google it. You know, if you're trying to learn a how-to, you go to YouTube and you search how-to, or you go to Google and you Google it, right? 5.6 billion with a B searches every day. That's why you should care, because people are going online before they're making their decisions. In the last 3 years alone, there's been an increase in 617% of people going online to research an individual or a business before they decide to do business with them. The crazier fact of that, 95% of people believe what they read online. True or not, 95% of people believe a review online just like their mom told them they should work with this person. They have the same trust and authority as a review online about that. So, like I said, good or bad, not everything that's online is true, right? Although we think it is. Here's what's crazy. 78% of people right now look online to see who they're going to do business with. 74%. This is the one. Anything you see in white that's bold and has a border, probably important to take note. 74% of people have already made up their mind of who they're going to work with before they ever talk to that company or individual. So you'll hear a lot about, lead generation and closing leads and what's your lead closing percentage and blah, blah, blah. That's no longer the game anymore. It's not closing the percentage of leads that you get in. 3/4 of your potential leads never even come in because they're deciding if they even want to be a lead before they ever talk to you. 74%, 3/4 of your opportunity to do business with somebody is based on what they find out about you on Google before you ever talk. So how will being more authoritative help? Well, you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. That's something that is true. 68% of people believe that their first impression of somebody, their gut feeling is accurate. What's crazy is it's actually higher, 76%. So your gut feeling, your intuition, your initial thought about when you meet somebody, 76% of the time you're right. It's a proven fact. So more than 3/4 of the time, your initial gut feeling of when you met somebody is right. So we talk about the sizzle video and stuff like that. Who thought, and man, that's cool. I want to go have a drink with that guy. That guy's fun, blah, 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 right? Well, I created a sizzle video to highlight myself in the right way. I didn't put a video up there and being a jerk or anything like that, right? So I controlled your perceived first impression of me, right? There's self-edification when I say I'm Fulking awesome, and there's third-party edification when Brandon goes, hey, that guy's Fulking awesome. The third-party edification is so much stronger. So you didn't see me say a word on that video about me. You saw all the other people that I've worked with along the way say what they thought about me, what they felt about me, right? So these are things that you've got to think about in yourself and your business. They didn't talk about my company. They talked about me as a person, my personal brand, right? Your personal brand represents your company brand. When you look at a company, one of the first things people do is they go to the About Us page or Meet the Team page. They want to see who's leading the organization. And one of the first things after they do that, they search that person online. What are they going to see? 65% of first impressions are made by what we see. We learn 3 ways. Anybody know what they are? Not all at once. Visual, okay, well, that's one. Auditory, that's another one. What did Brandon have you do in the last exercise at the very end? Writing. You did something. So we learn through seeing, hearing, and doing. The most powerful of those is what we see. Visually, the representation of what we see is the most important and makes the most impact, not only on our conscious self, but our unconscious, our subconscious, right? The next is what we do, and the third is what we hear. So, complete side note, who in here reads? If you don't read, start reading. I'm going to give you a little hack that made a huge difference in my ability to retain knowledge. Is every book that I buy a hard copy of every single book. I also buy the Audible. And when I read through the book, I have the Audible actually read it to me. So I'm seeing it on the page, I'm hearing it, and I'm doing it because I'm running my finger across it. So my absorption rate is much faster, and my retention rate is much longer. So that's a little side hack for you. People are quick to judge. We like our opinions, and we don't like to change them. And that is a true fact. There was recently a study in Cornell University did where they brought a group of subjects in, and they had pictures of these people. And they had so there was Group A, who was looking at pictures, and there was Group B they took the pictures of. People in Group B, they took these pictures, they said smile, look mad, and they did all sorts of different facial expressions. And what they did is they took Group A, and they had 1 second. They showed 1 second, one image. They got to see the image for 1 second, and then they had to write down their first impression of that person, right? And so what was crazy is the people that were frowning or mad or upset, they didn't have a good first impression with. And they saw this image for 1 second, right, guys? Click, done. So they wrote down their initial first impression. And the crazier part of this study is why time does not heal our first impressions and you can't make a second one, is 6 months later, they brought these groups back together. They had never met, Group A had never met Group B, and they brought them together and they actually introduced these people from Group B in the photos to the people in Group A, and then they had them write down their first impressions of actually meeting them in person. 97% of their first impressions, they didn't even remember seeing these pictures, were the same of what they wrote 6 months ago by seeing a picture of this person for 1 second as they were 6 months later when they met these people in person. And when you talk to Group A, the vast majority of them never remembered seeing these people's pictures. They had no idea that it was Group B. They didn't know it was, hey, we're bringing the people with the pictures back. They just thought, hey, we want you to meet this group of people. And again, same thing, just give us your first impression after meeting them in person. So time does not heal all wounds when it comes to a first impression. So that's why your personal brand, what you're putting out to the world, why it's important to be influential. So let's go through this. A tale of two agents is what I'm calling this. So what I did is I just went to LinkedIn. If you can't see this, I put, I'm searching for people that I'm not directly connected to, so not a number one. I put number two. I put them in the Tampa Bay area. They had to work at Keller Williams Realty. Why I picked real estate, I don't know. And then they had to be in the real estate industry. And so that pulled up, I don't know, 1,000 people in that search. And I just randomly picked two people in here. So I picked a lady named Christina Griffin and Kim O'Rourke, I'm assuming, is that how you say it? And disclaimer, sorry, Christina or Kim, if you're in the room, or if anybody knows you guys, but you're used for my case study here. So what did I do? I immediately pulled up their LinkedIn profiles. So you can see that's a second connection. I look at this person. She's got a nice image up there. She's got an image of her team. She's got an about us, real bold, what she specifically does. Activity. She had recent activity one day ago, a couple different posts. I'm like, okay. So that's my initial first impression when I see her on LinkedIn. I go to Kim. She doesn't even have a picture. What the crazier part is I started reading this about, and it's experienced on-site representative and event servicing using your various high-tech software hardware setup to create a seamless. What the hell does that have to do with being a real estate agent at Keller Williams? It's not even right. Kim hasn't posted anything lately. And I'm like, okay. So then what did I do? I took their names. I went to Google, and I typed in their name, real estate agent or realtor Tampa. So you can see Christina Griffin, realtor Tampa. This is the page one of Google that pulls up. So she's got a Google profile over here to the side. She's got 5-star review. She's on different things. She's got her own website. This is the bottom of her page one. I had to do 2 picks. You've got reviews over here, recent activity. She's got some videos on there. And then we go to Kim. And this is Kim. Kim's Instagram pulls up, her LinkedIn, Rocket Teach, something in, there's another lady with the same name in California that pulled up on her results. So my question is, who would you choose to work with? It's pretty simple, right? Guess what, guys? Everybody that you're talking to is doing this about you. So my question is, what are they going to see when they Google you? Are you Christina or are you Kim? And again, sorry, Christina, sorry, Kim. But what we just did is a real-life example, and you guys know it because you do it too, right? This isn't something that's foreign concept to you because you do it. Who here has ever pulled up a Yelp to go figure out if they're going to eat at that restaurant? Everybody, right? This guy does it all the time. He just pulls it up to review restaurants for fun. Everybody's done it. Everybody's Googled something. Everybody's done some sort of thing. So again, what are they going to see when they Google you? Being a person of influence, why this is important. People will buy from you when they know, like, and trust you, right? When people know, like, and trust you, you become influential. We talked about this earlier. When you become influential, you have a power over people of they want more. They want to consume you. They want to follow you. They want to watch your videos. They want to read your posts, right? And if I came up here and you guys know, like, and trust me, and I said I do X, Y, or Z, and you needed that service or product, who's the first person you're probably going to think of when that happens? Too often people think there's direct marketing. Marketing is a longer-term game, right? The reason Brandon does so much content, why do you do so much content, Brandon? How long does it live? Forever. So there's videos that he did, so the wrong videos we need to delete. I can help you with that. Oh my God! I can't even tell. So I was Googling Brandon the other day, and just to do because I was thinking about using him as a case study, and I pull up Google Images, and I'm like, oh my God, what is this? I text him. I was like, I have so many questions, and it was like this. He was a male model like 15 years ago, and he had this medium-sized shirt on with this pose, giving me his best blue steel look, and I'm like, what is going on right now? 7 years ago, but it was his best blue steel pose. It was hilarious, by the way. I have the image, so I'll put it up on screen for everybody. Don't worry. So people will buy when you become influential, right? So some facts about that: 74% of people have already decided if they're going to work with you or their business before you ever meet. So, Dave, how can I get people to know, like, and trust me if they never get a chance to meet me? Well, you have to go where the people are. Consumers go online. 85% of consumers are starting their search online, regardless if it's a house, a car, brownies, whatever. They're starting their search online. You have to go where the people are. People are online. You have to go online. Brandon's going to do a class today or tomorrow, I think, on social media, right? That's a good first start. And I would start just doing content as part of your daily ritual. So for an example, Sam, I brought her here today. She's just here filming content of me doing my thing so we can cut that up and splice it and use it for the rest of the year, right? So how can you have a friend follow you around? Maybe you just give yourself, hey, I'm gonna commit to doing 3 videos today, right? Give yourself 3 topics and just questions you can answer, stuff like that. A post, right? You start getting out there. There's so many ways you can do this and make it simple, and I'll let them teach you more on that in the online class. Having greater influence online helps people with buying decision. When you are more influential online, you're going to stand out of the crowd. You become noticed. An influential person actually forms and maintains relationships easier and faster and longer. They also develop stronger relationships. The average consumer, this is crazy, is willing to spend 31% more at a retailer that has excellent reviews. People are willing to spend more money. So a digital presence gives your brand an ideal place to communicate with others. So we've established why you need to become more visible, why you need to become more authoritative, and why you need to become more influential, right? Let's go into the other side of this. You know, maybe we do Google you and there's not some so great stuff that pops up. Maybe you have a little bit of thing in the past that ended up online. Maybe there's a video, maybe there's an article, maybe you're a part of something else, right? So maybe you have a bad reputation online. So what's that really costing you? Brandon talked about that earlier. You know, what is this really costing you by not doing this thing? What's it really costing you to have a bad reputation online? It's costing you trust, right? Instant trust. If somebody finds something negative about you online, whether it's true or not, you're going to hear from Kevin. He had something very similar happen to him. A story got online last summer, and I'll let him tell it, but it immediately affected trust in some of his partners. Whether it's true or not, the problem is people think anything that ends up online is true. So something bad online is immediately going to cost you trust. Leads. We already know that 74% of people are making up their mind of who they want to work with before they do it. 85% of people start their search online. It's going to cost you leads. Revenue. Over 25% of a company's market value is attained on its reputation alone. 1/4 of your ability to generate revenue is tied to your brand reputation. And when I say brand, I cannot beat this into your heads enough. Brand doesn't just mean your company. Brand also means you, your personal brand, your personal identity. Your personal brand is more important almost in this day and age with the influencers and all of that type of thing than a brand. Your personal brand is almost more important. Hiring and retention costs. People don't want to come to work for you if you suck. If you do, maybe they will, but you're going to have to pay them more. On average, you're going to have to pay 10% more to acquire talent if your brand or you get a reputation as an asshole CEO. You go on Indeed or some of these places and you read all these terrible reviews. Maybe the company has a great product, but their culture sucks. Nobody wants to come to work for that, right? So stress and anxiety. That's a huge thing it's costing you. The amount of stress and anxiety you have from having some sort of negative thing looming over your head, some sort of negative issue online, it's costing you that. So what can you do about it? We're going to kind of walk through a couple different ways of how you can protect your reputation, right? So we call this building a wall around your reputation to kind of protect it. And then what we will do is talk about some things that you can do to build it, right? Because that's where you need to start. Everybody in here is in one of 3 buckets, right? You're bucket 1, you're a ghost. You don't have an online, you don't have a reputation online yet. If you don't control everything that somebody sees on page 1 when they Google it, you're a ghost. Page 2 is or bucket 2 is somebody that needs to protect their reputation. Maybe they have some sort of reputation online. That's Brandon. Brandon's got a lot of content out there. That's Kevin. They have a reputation that they need to protect. There's ways that you can protect that reputation online. And then 3 is kind of the repair side of it. You have some negative stuff that you need addressed. You need it removed or suppressed before you can start building it. But if you're a ghost, which most people are nowadays, you can build it, right? It's a lot easier to start from scratch. It's a lot easier to start from bucket 1 than it is from bucket 3, I promise. So prevent bad reviews. Again, people are going online and saying bad stuff about your business. They're saying bad stuff about you. So reviews are no longer just limited to Yelp to know if the restaurant's good. Reviews are now, there's different categories of you can actually review the individuals. So you go to Indeed or places like that, Trustpilot, you can actually review the owner, the CEO, and things like that. So they're reviewing the individuals and the company. So prevent bad reviews. One of the things you can do, just let the people rant and yell at you. More often than not, if you just give them an outlet to say you're an asshole, it'll prevent them from going on the line and telling the world that you're an asshole, right? Just shut up and take it. Because the opportunity cost of what you're preventing from ending up online is enough. You know, a 5-minute phone call telling somebody you're sorry, I am an asshole, I know it, I was born this way, I can't help it, is a lot better than them going online and slamming you, and then now you've got, guess what, 74% of people go online, they read it, oh man, this guy's an asshole, I'm not going to work with him. They don't even give you a chance. Maybe this person met you on your worst day. Maybe your dog just died and you were an asshole that one moment. But guess what? The person reading that review doesn't care. Their instant impression of you is you're an asshole. And remember, their opinion's not going to change even if they meet you generally. Monitor the web. There's a lot of things you can actually sign up for. Google Alerts is a cheap, easy way. You can actually put your name, like your email address on there, and when those things pop up online, you get an alert, like, hey, your name appeared somewhere. So you'll know instantly if something pops up online about you or your business. Be social. Get out in front of it. I'm not going to hound on this because Brandon's going to talk about this. Start posting online daily. The different platforms, right? You know where your demographic is. There's so many different social channels. If your demographic's on TikTok, guys, you got to get on TikTok. I don't care if you don't TikTok. The people that are paying you money for your products are on that channel, so you have to be there. You got to figure out the demographic changes across the different platforms. I don't care if you like it or you do it. The people who want to spend money with you are doing it. So you should care about it for that perspective. Request reviews. You guys have fans. So you saw those people in the testimonial. I just shot a text out to like 20 people. I'm like, hey guys, I'm doing a video because I need to kick Brandon's ass. Would you send me a quick testimony so I can throw this? I did. I asked, did you notice that? I put him in the video. I was like, yeah, Brandon, I need a testimony. He didn't realize what I did to him. I was sabotaged him because I'm not in his video. So I just sent out a thing and said, hey guys, shoot, would you be willing to throw me a testimony? Everybody's like, yeah, here, boom, send me a video. It was amazing. It's fun. You find out how many fans and how many friends you have real quick when you ask for something like that. And it's really, if you haven't done it, it's actually really inspiring to hear what others think of you. And they're like, oh, what do you want me to say? I was like, whatever you want to say, whatever your thoughts of me are. I'm not scripting this. You have plenty of people that love you. You have plenty of fans. You have fans in your business. You've provided good service. You provide good protein bars that love you, right? Share that story, right? Ask them to share that story. More often than not, they'll be willing to do so. It's something simple. 5, submit press releases. If nobody's talking about you, talk about yourself, right? Hire somebody to write about you. Get content out there that's not just from you, right? Go hire somebody to be able to write content at a high level. There's so many different, you can hire a company like me to do it, or if you want to do it on your own, you can go to like places like Writers Access and things like that, where you can go hire a writer, tell them what you want, and they'll produce the piece, and then you can go to like different PR companies and drop it yourself. I would recommend in anything in business, if you haven't read a book called Who Not How, go read a book called Who Not How. You guys are in a transformational point in your businesses right now that being the person that has to know how to do everything is not the best value of your time. Find somebody who knows how to do it and have a who do it. So the book is called Who Not How. So in a lot of this stuff, yes, you can do it. Start doing it on your own if you need to start somewhere. But the fastest you can get this off your plate and hire a company or bring somebody in to do it for you, you need to stay priority focused on top-line tasks. Draft a crisis plan. When the shit hits the fan, what am I going to do, right? Because that's the worst scenario to be. Is just start thinking through it. Like, what happens if somebody leaves me a bad review? What happens if that video of one time in New York gets out online, right? So what happens when these things develop a crisis plan? So 5 ways to control and build your online reputation. Build it. The number one thing you can do is start building it. This is the most important thing that you can do. And when I say build it, start focusing on who you are as an individual. Start focusing on your company. Start getting your messaging out there. And marketing here is a term called indoctrination, right? People know, like, and trust you. So when you market a certain way, when they're looking at your brand, when they're looking at their product, they already know about the product, they already know about the company, and they already know about you before they ever interchange monetary value with you. Before you trade money for services, before you trade money for a product, they should know all these things about you. So you need to control the messaging that's going out there. So start building it. Turn negatives into positives. Build that fortress that we talked about. Every person that leaves you a negative review or telling you you're an asshole in that 5-minute call, take it as an opportunity to change the conversations. Build relationships. Start building a lot of different relationships. Be as helpful and as generous as you can be. I am very generous with my time. I will give to anybody. Ask Brandon. The reason he's willing to do a testimony for me is, I gave way more before I ever have an ask, right? And if you ever have an ask, have a give. That's a recommendation that I would have for you. If you have an ask, have a give. And I think it was Brandon. You were the only person to speak today, until now. But everybody will forget you spoke. Is you want to meet somebody, figure out a way that you can help them or bring them value, and that is unequivocally true, right? What can you do to help others where they're at right now? What can you bring to the table? When you give, I always like to say there's 3 ways you can give: time, treasure, and talent, right? You can give your time. You can voluntarily do something for somebody. You can invest time. Treasure, that's money. You can give money. You can donate to a cause, donate to them, buy something. And then talent. What talent do you have that you can help? What knowledge? Time, treasure, and talent. So are 3 ways that you can give back. Everybody thinks give has to be money. It doesn't, right? And honestly, the more powerful ones are the other. Give somebody your time or your treasure, right? Time or talent. Be the best. Focus on being the best in your market. Focus on the best quality product. Focus on the best quality service. Continuously focus on wowing the customer. When you do that, you're going to create raving fans. Those raving fans are going to start talking about you. It's going to give you a good online reputation. Have a long-term online strategy. So consistency is key. Don't run out of here and start posting for the next few days and then let it fall off, right? This has to be a long-term strategy. And what I started talking about earlier with marketing, it's the long game. Most people think in marketing is, I saw that ad. When people are like, I'm going to spend money on PPC. I'm going to put ads out there on Facebook. People who are spending the money often think, somebody's going to see my ad and they're going to buy my stuff right now. It's not how it works. How it works, you know why radio advertisement still works? Is because you have a stupid jingle in your head and you didn't realize it because you've heard it 9,000 times. But I can tell you, if you ever need legal help, Morgan & Morgan's the first freaking place I'm calling. But that's because it's the repetitive nature of the long-term marketing. Most people, when they see an advertisement, when they see your marketing dollars, they don't have necessarily a need for it in that moment. When the moment arises that they have a need for that product or service, you want to be the first thing that pops into their head. And the only way you're going to do this is long-term, consistent marketing, long-term, consistent branding. Because very often, yes, you're going to get some initial wins right off the bat when you do these things, but really what it is a long-term strategy. And that's why I asked Brandon, why does he do so much content? The content that you're doing today, it may generate you some leads, may generate you some business, but a year from now, 2 years from now, somebody's going to stumble across that, and they need that service right then, and yet your content that you did 2 years ago is still paying dividends years later. So that's why I asked Brandon, where does your content live? It lives forever. because content done consistently over time will continue to generate you business and leads and relationships and things like that. So start and don't stop. Doesn't have to be crazy, but start and don't stop. Be consistent with it. The last one is remember to be fulking awesome. Guys, I appreciate it. I hope you learned something today.